Hey, YouTuberverse. Up next, Adam Savage talks about building stuff. This is StarTalk. I'm your host, Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist, and we're coming to you from my office at the Hayden Planetarium of the American Museum of Natural History right here in New York City. Co-host today, Chuck Nice. Chuck.
Hey, Neil. Always good to be here at the Cosmic Crib.
And who we making a sandwich with here? We've seen him before.
Yes, we have. We did.
The
we
one,
did
the only, the inimitable
dun, dun, dun.
Adam Savage.
Yes!
Adam, welcome back.
Thank you very
It
much.
was like your third time on StarTalk.
It's been too long since I've been in this office.
And it's been too long. We enjoyed your last visit, and I feel like we're lifelong friends, even though we've only had a few times together.
It feels like culturally we like bounce
Nice.
a lot. We
The cultural Venn diagram has quite the area where you two overlap.
And that creates the friendship even without individual time together.
I see what you're doing, and I think, oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Cool, man.
So we've got you on. You actually have a new book.
I do. Holy cow.
I'll talk about your book. I'll do the talking about your book.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Okay.
That looks better, doesn't it, Chuck?
That's called public relations. When he talks about his book, it's bragging. When you talk about it, it's public relations.
There you go.
But enough about me. What did you think of my book?
So every tool's a hammer. Great title. And this, my favorite picture in here is there are a lot of interesting pictures like you in your workshop and my favorite is the stuff that you dumped out of your backpack.
Oh,
but then neatly organized it. Oh, yeah. That was just cool. I like seeing what's it. And I like John Hodgman's comment. He said, this is a map of his brain.
Nice.
I thought that was a very good comment.
If you feel like venturing into that unknown territory,
for some people you don't want to go there,
right?
But for Adam Savage, you want to see what's been driving him his whole life.
That is so funny. Some people you don't want to go there. My wife left she journals, and it was out. She journals, and so the journal was on the bed.
No, you did not.
No, I'm laying on the bed and watching TV. The journal is sitting right there. She comes in the room. She goes, "Oh my God, I left my journal open." She goes, "You didn't read it, did you?" And I went, "I don't want to know what's going on up there. I don't want any parts of what is happening in your head."
Your wife said, "I hope you didn't read my journal." That does not bode well.
What movie exists in which someone read someone else's journal and it all turned out great?
Good point.
That's so funny.
There ain't no movie about that.
Right.
Now, my twin boys used to like sit in their bunk beds and talk every night. And my mom was like, "What are they talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know. That's their private moment. I'm not going to listen."
Yeah, I don't want to know. Let them have their moments.
Yeah. But I want to know what's on in his head, and so does our fan base.
Now that is so true because I have their questions.
Because this is a Cosmic Queries edition of StarTalk, and we just solicited our fan base questions, knowing they'd land in the lap of Adam Savage about just making stuff.
Yeah.
And so Chuck, I haven't seen them. Chuck reviewed them just this morning.
I'm actually reviewing them, and
and Adam hasn't seen them, so let's see what you got.
Yeah, and these are cool. And as usual, we always start with a Patreon patron because they support us.
Because we're that low.
We're that high. We're that high.
Okay.
We have supporters.
I want to be a member of Patreon so that I could get my questions answered by somebody.
Believe it or not, you can. You can actually donate to Patreon and then ask yourself a question.
That's how I get on that list?
Exactly.
That's what I will do. I will ask myself.
That would be funny, actually.
All right, I'll do that.
All right, here we go. This is Bike and Bird says, hey, Adam, we've all heard of examples of items or procedures getting discovered by accident. Microwaves, penicillin, even chocolate chip cookies. Through all of your different experiments, was there an outcome or product that was produced that was applied to another test, or maybe even applications outside of the show? And this is
that kind of like
did
he invent anything?
Did you ever invent anything by accident? It was a long way. It was a long walk around the block.
That was a whole. That was a long off ramp.
Exactly.
You took the clover leaf to get back on.
I have a comment and a question, but an autobiographical story first. Actually,
and by the way, there's a word for that in science. It's serendipity.
Okay.
Yes.
A great word.
Mm-hmm.
There was a moment. So I can't think of anything we invented by accident, but I do remember we were on
Discovery.
We were on Hawaii doing on MythBusters shooting Duct Tape Island, and this was the conceit. Jamie and I get stranded on a deserted
Jamie, your
island.
co-host from MythBusters.
So Jamie Hyneman and I get stranded on a deserted island, and all we have is a pallet of several hundred rolls of duct tape. What do we do?
That's
So we
Wait. So is MacGyver tuning into this episode?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
More things to do with duct tape.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we made shelter. We actually made traps and caught chickens. We ended up making a 21-foot long outrigger canoe with which we were able to get past the breakwater of the North Shore of Oahu. But there was a moment when Jamie was asked to make a still for distilling fresh water from the salt water.
Okay.
And so he was digging into the beach to make a hole. And the procedure is you dig into the beach, you make a hole. It's going to be a kind of a damp hole because it's on the beach. And you let sit in some plastic with a rock in the middle. And as water condenses from the salt water, collects on the inside of the membrane you've put, you can catch it in a cup and drink fresh water. However, Jamie noticed that when he dug in and tasted just the water that was being filtered through the sand, that it was much less brackish and salty. And so he got really excited about the idea that the sand of the beach itself was filtering the water.
Interesting.
And we explained that this was a whole episode about duct tape. And while this was really interesting, it really didn't fit within our narrative.
Right.
But he kept insisting. And so we ended up shooting this whole sequence with Jamie, which I think we put on the web because that was the most interesting part of that day for him, was the idea that the sand filtered the salt out. But this was a classic thing of Jamie going, this is the thing I'm interested in. And we're saying, no, that's not what the episode's about. He's like, I don't care what you're saying.
Make a new
I just want to
episode.
talk about this thing.
Right.
And now I love all my water gritty.
Yeah, just a little.
I need just a little bit of grit in all of my
I'll
water.
drink it out of my boot. Thank you.
Cool.
All right, cool. Next
That's
question.
a great story. This is John Cole from Facebook, who says, between StarTalk and the Tested YouTube channel, I am in heaven. Hello, Adam. How do you get over the maker's equivalent of writer's block? Wow, what a great
This is a great
question.
Good one.
John Cole, you are thinking, my friend.
So do you ever just walk into your garage and say, I don't know what I'm going to put together today?
Totally.
Really?
But more than that, I also hit moments where I spend a whole day assembling something and realize that I've assembled it chirally backwards, and that I have to take the whole.
We must explain what chirally means.
Well, chiral
Chuck,
is left
explain
and
to
right.
everyone
Your hands
chiral.
are chiral.
I was going
because-
to let Chuck explain.
I'm so sorry,
Okay.
Chuck. What is chiral?
It's the mirror image without the mirror.
Nice!
Ooh, that
You
was
like that?
much more concise.
That was
than
way
mine.
better than where you were going
Yeah, it
with that.
was. I was being way too wordy.
Because you can make something that is the mirror image of itself.
Right.
And then you hold them together and they're mirror images.
Exactly.
And our amino acids have one chirality, and they all have the same chirality for all life on Earth. And when we found amino acids in asteroids, we found that they were 50-50 of both chiralities. So we knew that it didn't care. And there wasn't one life form, because amino acids aren't alive yet, that overran the other. So our chirality is the one chirality in the whole world. And there's suspicions that if there was another life form with the other chirality of our molecules, that you wouldn't be able to metabolize them if you ate them.
Wow.
Because the molecules wouldn't fit together.
Fit together, so
you might not even be able to taste it.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
And they would probably be like a guy. One half of his face would be black, and the other half of his face would be white.
It's really angry and sweet.
And he's right, exactly.
Wow.
But so from a standpoint of making, whenever you have two parts that are chiral, it can be a devilishly difficult assembly problem because everything looks very similar, but the order of operations is very precise.
Tetris is kind of like that. Two of the pieces are mirror opposite each other.
right.
Yeah.
So regularly in making, you hit a spot where you've
I saw 3D Tetris, I was thinking. Sorry.
so you hit a spot where you've screwed something up, and I feel really dejected about it, and I don't feel like moving forward, or I don't feel like undoing the 5 hours of work I've just done.
Wow.
And I'm angry. I'm pissed off. I feel sad about it.
That's funny because I feel the same way whenever I put anything together from IKEA. And
It's
Chuck, that table is upside down.
the blisters.
Really?
Yes, totally. IKEA is absolutely ripe for that kind of screwing up.
but go ahead.
Well, so
And how does everything fit in a flat box anyway? Isn't it something that should not be able to fit in a flat box?
That's so.
the IKEA car.
All right, sorry.
Go ahead.
There's a line from Mary Carr, who wrote Liar's Club, wrote about about what she does with writer's block. And she says, if I can't think about what to write, I sit at my desk and I copy writers I love in longhand because my fidelity at the desk is to be writing, whether it's my own writing or not.
Wow, what an exercise.
It's a beautiful exercise.
Really?
And I take that to heart in the shop. If I can't think of what to make, I organize something in my shop, a drawer, a shelf, a bin. I take something and I adjust it because
So you do shop time no matter
I
what.
do shop time, and I do so much more shop time than I ever did before because I realized it's a deep part of that whole process of prepping the shop and prepping myself for the work.
I do a little bit something like that. I have a book called The Greatest Wits of All Time, and they're phrases out of letters and correspondence from people that have extraordinary wit. And I just read it. I say, wow, that was an awesome juxtaposition of words or phrases or rhythm. And that just sort of re-baptizes me into a mood.
Right.
That I then say, okay, I'm ready. That
feels
I can
fertile.
Move. Right. There you go.
Yeah, very
I like
good.
that.
So do you ever suffer writer's block, Neil?
No, I go through this exercise. I have a lot of books written by writers who like writing about writing, also about whatever else they wrote about.
Right.
Did that sentence make any sense?
That sounded very meta.
It's a lot of inception.
I would never
today.
want to write that sentence. That's only a speakable sentence. And so, and there's one sentence that I think I uttered this in our last recording, a sentence from The Great Gatsby. This is a sentence where I knew I still have not become a great writer, and maybe never will.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
I have to hear this now.
In his blue gardens, men and girls came and went like moths amid the whispers, the champagne, and the stars.
That's a great.
I can't. I read that and say, that's why I am not a novelist.
Yes.
And he is.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of one of my favorite passages.
Obviously,
from,
this is from The Great Gatsby's
yes, of course.
his party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of a line
lovely
from
simile.
Chandler.
I mean, that's like a perfect simile.
Plus, he
Came
mentioned
and went as
Amazing.
moths.
yes, as moths.
It's beautiful.
Amid
It's very elegant.
the whispers of the
Amid-
champagne and the stars.
Incredible.
Yeah. You know, I didn't come here to feel inadequate.
And yet,
and yet here we are.
So what were you saying, Adam?
I was saying, it reminds me of this line from Chandler where his hero Marlowe is sitting in a waiting room for too long, and he describes the time passing as the minutes tiptoed by their fingers to their lips.
Lovely.
Okay.
Okay, so I have one. It's a quote from my father. Seriously, what the hell are you still doing here?
You haven't moved out of the basement yet?
That's a talk every father has.
All right.
And just to remind you, we got Adam here because he's got a new book.
Yes.
We would have him anyway, even without the book.
That's
Let me
right.
just make that clear.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
Okay, but he was made available to us by Simon and Schuster. Okay, for free, right? He was like in New York doing media, and I guess we count as media.
You do?
We do, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I can handle that. Every tool's a hammer. Life is what you make it. I see what he did there.
Yeah, it's
Subtitle.
very cool.
That's right. So Adam,
Two
Every
double
tool is a
entendres.
hammer actually does sound like something Donald Trump would say, though. I'm just saying.
You know, the phrase of mine he's grabbed is, I reject your reality and substitute my own.
oh,
Very nice.
is that a quote from you?
That is.
And he actually quoted that?
No, he hasn't quoted
Oh,
that, but
he's
clearly
just
it's
living
his
it.
entire life.
He's
is
just
that.
living it.
Living it. Okay.
I love it. All right, let's take Mitch Morris, who comes to
You're
us.
doing well with the words, with the names today.
That's
Josh.
because they're regular names.
Regular.
Alliterative.
Yeah, how racist can you get?
I can get a lot more racist. I'm just letting you know, since we're asking.
All right. Go on.
But you are right. That is it's extremely what do you call it? Presumptive of me.
yes.
All right, here we go. Mitch Morris from Instagram.
Get a lot more.
Mitch Morris from Instagram wants to know this. What is the most important tool ever invented? That's for the both of you. What an interesting little question. Very simple little question, but very interesting.
I'll answer first because I want him to bring closure to this question.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I said, wow, this crescent wrench is really useful, right? Because you can adjust it. And then I discovered the...
Miter saw?
No, the
Vice grip.
The vice grip.
Oh.
And I said, I've died and gone to heaven.
Yeah.
Vice grip. And then,
You got better than vice grip?
yes,
Go
okay.
ahead.
The most important tool is money to pay somebody else. That became the most important tool. I ain't fixing this plumbing. I'm going to hire a plumber.
Wow.
That's going to be my toolkit for
Capital. You may have just answered the question.
Okay.
I have to say, in the circles I travel in, a crescent wrench is known as a nut corner rounder. And the vice grips are known as the professional nut corner rounder.
Okay.
They can mess up. Don't get me wrong. I love both of
Corner
those
rounder
tools.
means taking your hex and removing the edges to it.
Until it can no longer be.
Right,
yeah.
a nut corner rounder.
Nut corner rounder.
Right.
I have to go to the simplest. I mean, one of the 6 simple machines, the lever. I feel like the ability to move heavy objects with a mechanical advantage, and the lever exists before the wheel or any rollers to me.
He's stealing Archimedes, who said,
"Give me a lever and a place to stand, and I can move the world."
I don't think he said lever. He just said, give me a place to stand.
Give me a place. I think he was describing the object.
Yes, of course.
Holding.
But I'm saying he that was implicit.
Okay.
He doesn't give me a lever and a place. Just give me a place to stand, and I can move the world. Beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Next question.
All right. Good stuff.
Okay, lever. I'll give you the lever. We do the lever. Next question.
Here's the next question from Wumu Shop. Wumu Shop. Yes.
Sounds problematic.
It does.
Do you have a brain injury that's preventing
I think I just had a stroke.
Right. What? Can't pronounce.
Wumu Shop. Hi, Neil and Adam. You guys are both my heroes. Which would you say will be the more important for the future of invention? Good old-fashioned mechanical know-how or advancements in material science, i.e. inventing a new type of suspension bridge that is stronger and lighter versus discovering a stronger and lighter titanium alloy.
Ooh, okay, we don't have time to answer that.
Oh. So, there you go.
We got to take a break.
Shop.
More when we come back of the Maker's Edition of Cosmic Queries.
This episode is brought to you by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service made for viewers with inquiring minds, including StarTalk fans just like you. Get access starting at $2.99 a month. Let me tell you about CuriosityStream's How to Build series. If you're a person that's a maker and you want to step up your garage game, well, this is the show for you. It gives you unprecedented access to some of the world's most advanced engineers who are responsible for satellites, supercars, and the wings of jumbo jets. Their satellites episode is really cool. They talk about how to build a machine that will live for over a decade in space. And of course, how it will deal with the harshness of the environment of space and the suspense about getting it into orbit. Go to curiositystream.com/StarTalk for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series. And for our listeners, enter the promo code StarTalk when you're prompted during the sign-up process, and your membership is completely free for the first 31 days. And now, back to Adam Savage on Star Talk.
We're back. Star Talk. Adam Savage, the one and only of MythBusters fame. And he's running on his own, making stuff. He's got a new book out called Every Tool's a Hammer. Life is what you make it. You see what he did there, Chuck?
Very nice.
He did that. I got Chuck Nice with me.
Yes, sir.
And we're doing Cosmic Queries.
Yes, we are. And before we went to break, we had a question from Wumu Shop who says, hi, Neil and Adam. You guys are both my heroes. Which would you say will be the more important for the future of invention, good old-fashioned mechanical know-how, or advancements in material science?
Adam,
go. Good old-fashioned mechanical know-how. We are always going to be advancing in material science, and there will sometimes be things that we cannot replicate because we lose a technology or we forget a process. But as long as we have a deep foundation in mechanical knowledge, in making things and the roots of the physics of putting stuff together, we can utilize those advances and we can adjust to the changes in the available materials as they come.
Wow. Great answer.
I only kind of agree with that. I'm agreeing 50%.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm into material science. It is one of the most underappreciated, unheralded branches of science in this world.
Okay.
All right. If you go back 50 years, hardly any. Now, I'm not bragging about this advance. I'm just citing it as a difference in our lives. You go back 50 years, hardly anything was made of plastic.
Correct.
And almost everything is made of plastic today.
And it's working out great.
For many things. As long as you don't have to throw it away, okay? It's working out great. The plastic is stronger. It's more reliable than other materials. And you can mold it. And just think of the things that having simple, quote, standard mechanical knowledge is. So what? Look what this material can do. They're materials now that have memory of a shape they once had.
Okay.
So you can deform it.
Sleep on it.
Then you like wet it, and then it goes back to the previous shape. That got nothing to do. Nothing in your lab, nothing in your garage is ready for that.
But within the one is better than the other. Mechanical knowledge can push humanity forward on its own, whereas material science can't necessarily.
With the good materials, you don't need the mechanical knowledge. It's built into the material itself.
I totally disagree with that.
Smackdown. Meet me in the octagon.
Yes.
We actually, as an aside, I just finished a new show for the Science Channel called Savage Builds, in which I build absurd things every week. In the first episode, we made a suit of Iron Man armor in 3D printed titanium.
Wow.
And speaking of material science, I discovered that when you 3D print titanium, you can attenuate its grain structure so that it is far stronger than normal titanium. Because you can give it these super tight little crystalline granules.
They can get closer.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make it tighter.
But wait. Except that makes it denser. It seems to me.
It didn't in this case.
It didn't.
No,
Okay.
it's still 45% the weight of steel.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
as stronger.
If you made it denser, you would lose some of the value of it being light.
Yeah, no, this stuff was amazing. We had potato chip thin pieces. They were bulletproof. Bullets slid right off of this stuff.
Wait a minute. Is this something that was already discovered?
Oh,
or
yeah,
is it just
No,
something that you
GE is
discovered?
using 3D printed titanium in their jet engines right now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
want to be
it's a
accidentally
property that you discovered.
No.
It's a property that you found for yourself.
I was
It's not
working
to
with
make
the-
armor out of.
Right.
There's an amazing engineering school called the Colorado School of Mines.
Yes, everyone knows that.
Those
Yes.
guys are incredible. And I worked directly with them in their additive manufacturing department.
Okay, so he just figured out a brilliant new material to make armor for knights. 600 years late.
Exactly, man.
That's great.
Yeah, but I can't wait to see what new material is coming down the pipe and how that might transform how we live. I think about that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Excellent question once again from our listening audience.
And just for the point of info, we transition from that's cheap, it's made of plastic, to that's made of plastic. Fine, I don't have any problem. It'll last forever.
Right.
That happened we're about the same age.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
That happened in our lifetime.
It did.
Yes.
It did.
Okay.
I totally agree.
I don't want to smack you down too hard. just the octagon will decide this. Okay. Does anyone know what the octagon?
I'm sure they do. And there's a lot of UFC fans listening right now.
I don't know what the Venn diagram is.
Right now, there's a guy calculating an equation of kick-ass right now. This is Mike Pumaking.
Pumaking? Pump making?
Pump making. I don't know.
Okay.
Mike said, these people, I think they're just screwing with me.
You think so?
I really do. They're like, is it Chuck? We're going to just make up names. All right, here we go. Mr. Savage, what is something that you would think will be possible to build in the future that is now considered science fiction?
Ooh, very good.
That's a great question.
Room temperature superconduction?
Ooh.
Wow, you went for a big one,
I
didn't you?
did. No, I'm really excited about, speaking of material science, I'm really excited about
See?
graphene.
It
And
came back. It came back to me.
That's true.
Material science. All right. So that's your answer?
That's my answer. Room temperature superconduction is going to be I believe it will happen in our lifetimes. I think that.
And once that happens, will we actually be able to have, spaceships that stop and hover? And
I don't know. Well,
You know?
at least we'll probably, one of the things we'll learn a significant amount about is our brains, is it's the processing power of our brains. I feel like as computers become more powerful, they're going to become a real interesting window into consciousness and sentience and what it is to think about the thinker.
nice.
I hadn't quite heard it put that way, but now that I have, I agree 100% because it's hard for the brain to study itself. But if we make computers that are becoming better approximations of our brain, now we have something we can study. And so we would asymptotically come to an understanding of our brain simply by making our computers that much more complex, possibly one day achieving consciousness themselves and becoming our overlords.
There you go.
That's how the story ends.
I think if we ever made a machine conscious, the first thing it's going to say to us is, "What the fuck did you do?"
That's so true. Gotcha.
All right, next question.
All right, cool. Good question.
Cosmic Queries version of StarTalk.
See, now here's somebody. He calls himself or herself the Dragon Horde of Dice.
Dragon Horde of Dice.
There you go.
That person, Mama, probably did not give that person that name.
No, but I think her name is Kate because it says at Kate Nader.
Okay.
So there you go. Hey, for Adam, since I know you do cosplay, what is the most complex mechanical prop costume you've ever tried to build? Like a prop or costume that had no moving parts or could collapse, expand, or something that you may have tried to just recreate.
Did you make Transformers proud ever?
Oh gosh, no, I have not done a Transformers costume. A few years ago, I've been obsessed with armor since 1981 when I went and saw Excalibur with my dad.
I love Excalibur.
John Borman's
my
film
top
is
5 favorite films.
Amazing film.
And then I learned disturbingly.
Yeah,
that
I know the fact you're about to tell me. Go ahead.
Oh, really? No, maybe not.
I don't know the fact, please.
Excuse me, I'm having a private conversation with my man here. Okay. So Excalibur from the early 1980s, John Borman, an early film that had Patrick Stewart in it.
Patrick Stewart, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson's in it. And
Gabriel Byrne.
And so is Helen Mirren.
They're
all in this movie.
Okay?
It's the King Arthur story told. So
thank you.
Much later, I realized I think half the reason why I liked the movie was because of the soundtrack.
Oh,
okay. It is very powerful Wagnerian, and that which is not Wagnerian comes from Carmina Burana. Very emotional, energetic music that you're just feeling every scene. Then I thought to myself, maybe the movie's not so good, but the music was amazing, and that completely compensated for it.
I watched it recently. It's still super campy and still really impressively great.
But did you watch it on mute?
No.
with subtitles and mute. Try that next time.
I did not apply a control, Chuck.
Okay. So your answer.
So I've been obsessed with armor since then. And I actually, when I was a junior in high school in 1984, I built a suit of armor out of roofing aluminum with my dad and wore it to school on Halloween and passed out of heat exhaustion in third period. This is all just up north at Sleepy Hollow High School.
Hence your Twitter handle, don't try this.
Exactly. At home. A few years ago, I called up Terry English, who's the master armorer that built all the armor for Excalibur. He lives in the southern tip of England in Cornwall. And I went to his studio a couple summers ago and spent 10 days embedded with him as his assistant while he and I manufactured me a suit of King Arthur's armor from Excalibur.
You were an apprentice.
I was an apprentice, and we made me my lifetime goal suit of armor of Arthur's armor from Excalibur.
Wow.
That's pretty intense.
It was so intense. It was amazing. He lives in this incredible sort of overgrown shop in Cornwall.
He is you in England.
Yeah, totally.
Whoa. There's only room for one per continent, I think. I don't know.
That was by far my favorite mechanical prop construction.
Okay. Wow. But it was not electronic or anything.
No,
it was just mechanical.
No, hammering aluminum all day long.
Did you have chainmail and everything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
Wow, that's pretty wild, man. Hey, congratulations on that.
And you still have it.
Oh, I wear it every chance I get.
How do you get it through TSA? Whatever they were known back then.
No, I actually took it to New Zealand last year to make a little film with Peter Jackson about it where a demon tears my arm off. We called it A Farewell to Arms.
Okay, things are getting weird real quickly here. Okay.
When I carried the armor with me, I was thinking, this is priceless to me. I can't really insure this. So I checked it as luggage with a GPS transceiver in my luggage so I could monitor it being loaded onto my plane.
That's pretty wild.
I felt if the airline was going to tell me they couldn't find it, I wanted to know that I could find it.
I got to tell you something.
Plane goes down, they can't find the black box, but he found
the suit of armor. We found the suit of armor.
I don't know anybody else
We have no idea why all these people are dead, but we do have an awesome suit of armor right now. Oh my God.
Dang, dude.
Wow, man. That's
Okay.
That's pretty wild.
You're far weirder than I ever
But wait a minute.
Consider that a
extrapolated for
hot
you.
compliment.
Yes.
Wait, you and
I
Peter
knew you would.
Jackson are making home movies?
Occasionally,
What's
yes.
going on?
And for those who didn't know, the Lord of the Rings series was mostly filmed in New Zealand.
That's
By
correct.
Peter Jackson.
By
And Peter Jackson was inspired to, one of the key inspirations for him in making Lord of the Rings was Excalibur.
So I'm not the only one who likes Excalibur. it's my
dude,
top
it's
5
super
movies.
important film.
But other 4 are really weird, not that, but that's in there. That's
sweet.
okay.
I can't say it's one of my favorite.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough.
All right.
I need help. Here we go. This.
One other thing.
Go ahead.
These 5 movies are like the only 5 movies I've ever not only seen a zillion times, but sat through the director's narration.
Narration.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Director's commentary?
The director's commentary. Because you have to like the movie so much
That you'll
that
suffer
you don't even
through?
need to watch this next iteration
I'm
of
right
it
there with
and
you.
hear somebody just talk through it.
Yep.
Nice.
That was
Well, you've also seen it that many times.
well. That's part of that's how you earn the director's cut at that
right.
point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Now I got to know what are the other 4 movies.
Yeah, no, I do too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because if that's part of the top 5,
Yeah, it's the
and
top
that
5.
means there's 4 other movies that
Okay,
made
number
it to
one-
director's cut. with
Number
you.
1, The Matrix.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
give you that.
Number
Matrix.
2, All That Jazz.
with Bob Fosse.
Bob Fosse.
Okay,
it's his movie. Yeah,
That's a good one.
Roy
Okay.
Scheider.
Roy Scheider, sort of
Scheider,
playing Bob Fosse.
yeah.
Okay. 3, The Conversation.
Ah, such a good movie.
Oh, man, now I'm
Francis
lost.
Ford Coppola. Oh, my
Coppola's
God.
The Conversation.
Conversation.
Walter Murch. Oh my God.
4, it's a toss up between.
Oh wait, Conversation. That's with the man and the woman.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
that movie.
That movie.
With the man and the woman.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Conversation. And then there's probably a toss up here, but the West Side Story.
Amazing.
That's great.
West
Family
Side Story.
Dog.
And then Excalibur. I think it's 5th out of those 5.
I say there's at least 9 films in my top 5.
Wow, there are
I'm
9
just gonna
films in
hold
my
that.
top 5.
That's good.
The top 5 lists actually can go quantum, and we can fit lots
we
of
get
Right.
another dimension.
Yes, exactly. You've got timelines on your
totally.
So those 5 are so unlike each other.
and there's what an eclectic mix.
It's
you
really
have.
weird, but
Great
I
eclectic
totally.
mix.
So I used to dance. Okay, so hence the Bob Fosse.
Have you done Dancing with the Stars?
No, that's so
I
cliche.
know, I know
Dude.
it is, but
okay,
I
danced in
suddenly
my
want
day.
to see you on that show.
When I was dancing, no one was publishing my books. Now they're publishing my book, I don't need to dance anymore. Okay, so what? Chuck?
Do you love Strictly?
I'm serious.
Do you love Strictly
I'm
Ballroom?
dancing for nobody. Okay, my people have come a long way.
Copy that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So there's that, and I wrote a column for a magazine under the pen name of Merlin. So I have extra interest in the Merlin Arthurian legends, and I have the Mallory book in vellum. So there's that. Matrix, of course, is the Matrix 1, of course. It's not 2 or 3.
Absolutely perfect.
Matrix
No,
has to be there.
There are 2 other movies.
And the conversation was just so well done.
Amazing film.
And there are no explosions. There's
Right.
no chase
No.
scenes.
Okay.
It was a story well done. And so there I am.
Nice.
Those are my 5.
Now, listen. So there you go, people. Now you know what you're doing. Netflix and chill with Neil's list.
That's a weird list.
What a weird list to Netflix and chill,
and
right?
West Side Story is New York. It's the city. I'm half Puerto Rican. My mother's name is Shrinchita Maria Feliciano Tyson. Okay, that's her name.
West Side Story is such a masterpiece.
And it's a masterpiece.
A masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. And while I don't know how to compose music, if I ever could, I'm imagining that I could compose the music that
Of
we hear
West
in
Side?
West Side Story.
Wow.
That's where I'm thinking that's what I would reach for. And
that would be your North Star.
that'd be my North Star. I like, well, beautiful. He's beautiful. I love Adam.
This episode is brought to you by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service made for viewers with inquiring minds, including StarTalk fans just like you. Get access starting at $2.99 a month. Join CuriosityStream to hold you over between new episodes of StarTalk Radio. Come on, we only put out an hour of StarTalk on YouTube every week, so you've got some time to kill. They've got some other cool shows on topics like science, history, nature, and society. Lots of cool people involved in these shows as well. Sigourney Weaver, Jane Goodall, Sylvia Earle, and so many more. Go to curiositystream.com/StarTalk for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series. And for our listeners, enter the promo code StarTalk when you're prompted during the sign-up process, and your membership is completely free for the first 31 days. And now, back to Adam Savage on StarTalk.
Back for our third and final segment, and I don't want this show to end. This is
a good show.
Maker Cosmic Queries edition with Adam Savage, who makes stuff. Every tool's a hammer. Life is what you make it. And this is, it's a window into your brain.
Oh yeah, there's some organized shelves.
I like the fact that you have photos in it. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
To thank your publisher for agreeing to. They don't always agree to put pictures in their books.
No, they did. I threw tons into the manuscript,
Yeah.
and after we had the manuscript approved, they said, "Okay, so you're responsible for all the permissions for those photos."
Oh,
Publishers are such wimps when it comes to that. Oh man, don't get me started. Yeah. So definitely. So next question. What was that?
all right. So this was Lane from Minnesota who said, as a builder, I remember failed projects more than the successes.
Stop
Is it true?
So tell me about failures relative to successes.
Well, and we talk about this a lot these days. Failure is a really popular word. Silicon Valley says, build fast and break things. We talk about educating kids. We talk about teaching them how to fail. And I have a particular take on this because I think failure is a fine word.
By the way, a version of that from the 90s or 80s,
Yeah.
which was shocking when we first heard it, was if it ain't broke, break it.
Break it.
Yes.
So that way you might invent something better than the thing you had before. And just because it worked doesn't mean that's the best version of what it could be.
Indeed.
Or you just end up with a lot of broken shit.
That's if you're not creative.
There's always broken shit behind
Don't
it.
heed that advice if you're not creative.
Exactly.
All right, so
Go ahead.
But we don't really mean failure. Wrong turns on the path to get to a success are not failures. They're simply iterations. And I'm here.
And that's not a euphemism or anything.
No,
like that.
my for
Smells
me,
like one.
What I want to preach is that both science and art are iterative processes that include tons of wrong turns, and the wrong turns aren't outliers. They're part of that process. And we go up the path and we're like, okay, this isn't the path. So let's go back to the fork and continue down another path and see if that's the path. And so, yes, I also remember my failures more than my successes because that's where I learned. The failures are the failures. The wrong turns I took to get to the right turns are the places that I learned the most about myself and about how to build things and about how to recover from those moments.
You know what they say about rocket launch failures? That they're not failures, they're just experiments rich in data.
But this is right in the movies. There's always the guy who says, my experiment was a failure. No scientist says that.
No, we don't actually. If it's well designed, a negative result is actually useful information to
Indeed.
you.
Right.
Publishable information.
We don't.
You have to say that when somebody else is paying for what you do.
Yeah, but all of our I was just reading an article the other day about how publishing journals don't highlight null results.
They don't value it in the publishing.
They don't value it in the
yeah.
publishing.
And we should.
We should.
More. It's a problem.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never thought of that. But yeah, there is a great deal of
The no result
value.
tells you what not to do.
Exactly. It tells the next person,
what not to
look,
do.
this is what I did. It didn't work out. And now I don't have to waste time going down that.
Because
Because
scientific inquiry that is equally as important as some brand new fact
Oh,
about
no,
it.
that makes a lot of sense. That's
Chuck
very cool.
has a new hero of the recent months who may have been responsible for setting us down the wrong path. Because his mantra was, failure is not an option. This was from Apollo 13, and this is Gene Kranz. So failure is not an option. And then that became America. We're not going to fail.
Yeah. Right.
And then we lost track of the value of failure.
We lost track. The most surprising thing I learned from doing MythBusters for 13 years was how surprisingly creative the scientific discipline is and how it mirrors the creative discipline. To me, conducting
Our creative arts.
conducting and building experimental methodologies is every bit as creatively satisfying as making a sculpture, painting a painting, or writing a book.
I agree 100%.
But I think it's better when you call it a wrong turn, the way you put it that way. Because if you think about it, just from a standpoint, everybody can identify.
Driver's
standpoint. When you make a wrong turn, how many times have you done that and discovered something that you really like?
Oh, there's a botanical gardens over here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
In fact, that process is the soul of stand-up comedy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Iterate.
Always.
Every joke.
Even, listen, it's the same process even when the joke works.
Yes.
You go back and you try to crack it open and see how can I make this even better.
Indeed.
If it works, break it.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Super
Next
cool.
question.
Wow, Lane, what a great question. You're a hero, Lane. That's what you are. You are. All right. This is Chris Goes to the Park. Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Thanks, Chris. He says, hey, Adam, are there any inventions your team created on MythBusters that you have kept or that you might still use today? P.S. Loved your show growing up. It inspired me to study engineering. Now I'm an engineer.
Ooh.
That always
Beautiful.
amazing to hear. There's nothing that we kept from the public on MythBusters except for one thing.
Ooh.
Cary Grant and Tori were...
Wait, I didn't understand the question. Do you mean, is there something you made on MythBusters that the public never saw?
Or no,
is there something you made that you took home with you?
Something we came up with or that we discovered on MythBusters that we have somehow kept from the public.
That's not how I read the question.
No, he meant, but I like that.
That's
he
even
meant,
better.
is there anything that you invented or came up that you were like, wow, this is so good, I'm actually going to put it to use in my life?
Right, that's how I read it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. I mean, really, it was the process of telling the stories on MythBusters. I mean...
Yeah, but wait, that's not as interesting a question as the one you thought it was.
No, I was going to say. All right.
Let's assume it was the question you thought it was.
Exactly, which is...
Cary Grant and Tori were testing the explosive... my co-hosts on MythBusters, Carrie Byron, Tori Beleche, and Grant Imahara, they were testing a story that involved a commonly available material that is as close to a description as I'm going to get, and its explosive properties. And what they determined with this use case scenario was so spectacularly, terrifyingly explosive that we agreed to destroy the footage of the explanation and never tell how we got to that.
And I thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Bomb squads the world over know what we figured out on our own.
Right.
And are thankful that we've decided not to put that in the episode.
So, yeah, it's like...
Yeah, but our engineer Ben just found it on YouTube.
Right. Did you know if you took cotton balls and chewing gum, you could actually bring down the World Trade Center? Like, what? Like, yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah, so...
okay, so the answer is yes, you did.
Yes, yeah.
So you quarantined that information.
We did.
And just said to hell with it.
The world doesn't need it. It will not be better for this bit of knowledge.
All right. Now, just between us, what was the what were the materials?
It's just between you and us.
Yeah, just between
no
us.
one's listening.
What were the materials? So. All right. I don't want to know, to be honest, because I can't be trusted. All right. This is Ringamilly, who says, how do you create new things that haven't before been thought of? In other words, what is your process for creative discovery?
Good.
Like, is there any process that says, well, you know what? Boom.
Well, I don't know if it's reasonable to think about something as I want to make something that's never been thought of. I don't think we have the choice to sequester an invention or a build or something creative into a category before it's been made. And everything we made is based on everything that we've seen. So just as is it Newton that said we stand on the shoulders of giants?
Yes.
Just as Newton says that we all do. It's called
If
culture.
I see farther than others, it is because I've stood on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
And that is one of the greatest descriptions of culture that anyone's ever penned.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what's happening. When I was,
especially now.
When I was 17, I saw Alien. It took me 5 years to get the aesthetic of H.R. Giger out of my system. I had to recapitulate the aesthetics that he was doing because I found it so powerful until I kind of understood it. That recapitulation.
So that person is the what to the movie?
He does. H.R. Giger designed the Alien.
You said it like, well, but we all have beer
I'm sorry.
with H.R. Giger.
H.R. Giger is this crazy German who designed all of the creatures and alien technology from the original movie Alien, Ridley Scott's first science fiction film.
Yes.
And of course, with Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, Harry Dean Stanton. That's one of my top 5 films.
Okay.
An amazing film. I mean, it's a gothic horror film, not a science fiction movie, but
my issue with it was that the alien still had like a mouth, a jaw, teeth.
Yeah, but he had a mouth and a mouth.
A mouth and a mouth.
I mean, that's pretty creative.
Yeah, no,
No, I'm just thinking most life forms on Earth do not have a mouth and teeth, like trees and worms and butterflies and this sort of thing. So if you're going to have a complete alien, you should be more creative than even that. Like The Blob, 1958 Steve McQueen movie.
Yes.
You got no bones.
It's nothing. It's just a blob.
It's
terrifying. Absolutely
what was it?
terrifying.
It was a blob.
It was a blob.
It was completely terrifying,
Right.
and it would eat your blood, suck your blood. And do you know when the blob first landed, you know what color it was? It was transparent. It only turned red after it ate its first victim.
Whoa!
Yes! You didn't know that.
I did not.
We didn't know that. Why are you hating him? I know that.
Okay, so and it can come through the vents into the.
yes.
So that's
Yeah.
to me that's creativity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think that you can say to yourself, I want to think of something that's never been thought. I think you have to just keep on thinking, what do I want that doesn't exist? What do I want to make extant that I can't obtain or I can't get?
So your urges are guiding your creativity.
Totally.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely. And that's what this book is to me. It's a permission slip to everyone to follow those weird urges. I call them secret thrills.
So you shouldn't titled it "Follow Your Weird Urges." Be a bestseller overnight.
The publisher rejected that
They rejected that title.
Is it too late to change the title? Because that's a damn good title.
Let's just remove the cover. Right.
Follow your weird urges.
Draw it on the.
I know what I'm signing in your book, Neil.
So we have to go into lightning round now.
Okay.
Okay. We have a few minutes left.
Okay.
I need from you soundbite answers.
Great.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Chuck, go.
All right, here we go. This is Olivia Waits from Instagram. She wants to know, how long does it take to usually come up with a truly new idea?
That is impossible to quantify.
Next.
There you go. Canna Slicker says.
Wait, let me ask. What's the longest and shortest time it took you to come up with a new idea?
Oh.
Just like get the range.
Impossible to quantify. The range between 1 minute and 17 hours.
Okay. Good.
There you go. I'll accept
Pulled that
it.
one out of his ass.
Yes.
The 17
Sorry,
hours
we were
longest.
looking for 2 days.
Wrong answer. All right, go.
Here we go. Canasilicker. What? That doesn't even sound. I think somebody made. Never mind. What is your most unique, out of left field inspiration that has ever happened to you or even surprised you? That is weird. Where did you find inspiration in a place that you never thought you would?
Good.
Oh wow! I'm going to need time to think about that one. I don't have a soundbite answer.
You have
for
to
that
the end
one.
of the show. Okay, next question.
Okay, here we go. Julie.
Wait, let me reword that question. Maybe it's the same question. Among all your sources of inspiration, what has been the most fertile?
Reading, actually, always reading about the first experiment of something that was discovered. Reading Fizeau's speed of light experiment is so thrilling.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a great answer. Even better question. Sorry.
Fizeau is in Doppler Fizeau. It's in late 19th century, early.
He calculated the speed of light with the clockwork and mirrors.
Okay, there we go. Next.
There we go. This is Juliet from NB says, if you had unlimited resources and time, what would you build?
I'd build a spaceship and I'd go to the moon and then I'd go to Mars.
There you
With
go.
unlimited resources and material? Yeah, totally. I would start some interplanetary exploration.
Beautiful. Love it.
All right.
In this office, I love that answer.
All right. Last question.
No,
That's it?
I don't think we have time.
There we
Just
go.
for final reflections. Chuck, give me your final reflection.
I am going to now pursue my weird urges.
Weird urges. There
And
you go.
I am really happy
As long as
that
they're
I have,
legal, go for it.
I'm
Okay.
happy I have permission to do so.
Okay. Adam, you got this book. Presumably, there's still stuff in you that's not in this book. Otherwise, buy the book and then we don't have to ever watch you again. Right? So,
Oh, yeah, I helped some stuff.
tell me
back.
something that's not in the book that we should carry with us.
Oh, wow. That all human beings really want to do is tell each other stories. And that's both science and art. It's how we understand the universe.
Even if the story you're telling is how to build something.
Indeed.
Ooh, I like it. Very nice.
So what I'd like to think, if I can add to an earlier question about creativity, to have a thought, to see what everyone else has seen and think what no one else has thought, that's a commonly invoked definition of genius. But maybe it's not genius that we're honoring there. Maybe it's hard work, where you have a lot of dangling thoughts within you because you've read a lot of books, you've seen a lot of movies, you've spoken to a lot of people, you've done a lot of tinkering, and they're sitting there waiting in your head. And then you walk amid all of these dangling parts. And you say, give me 2 bits of that, 1 part of that, 1 part of this, because they're available to you to draw from. And out of that comes a brand new idea, a brand new object, a brand new concept. So I think the people who are cited as the great inventors and geniuses of the world are simply those who have more bits and pieces in their lives waiting to be assembled into something new.
I totally agree.
Very nice.
It's beautiful that you agree with me. Because I pull that from the cosmic perspective. Adam, thanks for being on Star Talk. Chuck, as always.
Always a
you're
pleasure.
my man, dude.
Adam.
Pleasure, gentlemen.
You've been listening to, possibly even watching, this episode of Star Talk featuring Adam Savage, formerly of MythBusters, and now he's just making stuff, and he's got a Science Channel program that I can't wait to catch. Give me the name of it again.
Savage Builds.
Savage Builds.
Nice.
Sounds angry.
June 12th.
Okay.
June 12th.
There you go.
Science
Okay.
Channel.
Summer 2019 on the Science Channel. I've been your host, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and as always, I bid you to keep looking up.
This episode is brought to you by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service made for viewers with inquiring minds, including StarTalk fans just like you. Get access starting at $2.99 a month. Let me tell you about CuriosityStream's How to Build series. If you're a person that's a maker and you want to step up your garage game, well, this is the show for you. It gives you unprecedented access to some of the world's most advanced engineers who are responsible for satellites, supercars, and the wings of jumbo jets. Their satellites episode is really cool. They talk about how to build a machine that will live for over a decade in space, and of course, how it will deal with the harshness of the environment of space and the suspense about getting it into orbit. Go to curiositystream.com/StarTalk for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series. And for our listeners, enter the promo code StarTalk when you're prompted during the sign-up process, and your membership is completely free for the first 31 days.